Hello, everyone. You're watching the Tech Rants show on the No Vision Internet Radio podcast or network. So we're broadcasting both on actually three now networks. We're broadcast. Let me start over here. We're broadcasting on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Of course, we're streaming the audio live on our website, which is www.novisioninternetradio.com. There's an audio player at the very bottom of the show. So the co-host that we have for the Tech Rants show is Mr. Quentin and his better half, Miss Quinn Aries. How are you both doing today?
Hey, George. Thanks for having us.
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Okay. So for those who are interested in the show, you want to subscribe to No Vision Internet Radio, either to your podcast player or app on your phone, or your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe, and when we go live next time, you get a notification of it. So this show, and we're going to talk about technology and accessibility and all that good jazz. But first, I think more important, especially this week, Mr. Quentin and Miss Quinn Aries, they are located in a city where the NFL team hardly ever wins. Not really. But anyways, Mr. Quentin, Miss Aries, how are you both? Are you both ready for the Super Bowl?
I am. She's just available. She doesn't care about football.
No, I'm not a football person, and my team, poor.
Well,
Yeah.
well, tell those people where you're from. Where you're from first, like a hint.
Oh,
Where are you living right now, Mr. Quentin?
Me personally, I'm from a place where no one thought we were getting in the Super Bowl.
Right.
First of all, and I got a hint that might completely give it away. Bootsy Collins.
But yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio. Man, how's the weather right now?
It's pretty cold.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Her team never makes it to us.
Wow. That's what we're doing.
I know, like so early in the show there, Quinn. God, man.
The shade.
It's all love, but I mean, we never made it either. We haven't been since 1989, so that's
Nope.
it's something. Nobody thought we were going, but we did. So
Do you remember the? I don't know how you're young, how old you are, but the Icky Shuffle.
no, I don't remember the Icky Shuffle. But Icky Woods is definitely there. They say they paid him every time he does the Icky Shuffle. They say they pay him $1 million each time. So
What?
I don't know how true that is, but apparently I'm in the wrong profession.
Right. Just for those who are watching who are visually impaired, the Icky Shuffle is basically Icky Woods, the running back. He would pick up the ball in one hand and then shuffle to the right, get the ball in his other hand and shuffle to the left, and it became the Icky Shuffle. And commercials. I mean, he's been on Oprah Winfrey, but hopefully Sunday night he'll be playing as the new NFL Super Bowl champions there, Mr. Quentin.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's bad out there. I was actually in Kroger's earlier today. For those, Kroger's is a store. Some places you guys might call it Ralph's. Some of you might be Pick and Save, Giant Eagle. It's different names in different places. Albertsons. So I was in Kroger's. It was crowded. Everybody's getting their liquor and their Houday gear, and they're telling you, hey, if you don't have your wings and everything, you better get it today. I dare you to call tomorrow about 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning and try to get some wings delivered.
Well, no, here in El Paso, where I live in El Paso, Texas, and I'm at 9 on Super Bowl Sundays, Wingstop, don't even call. They tell you to order like the day before, because otherwise, I'm like, okay, so I'm out of luck right now, so I'm not gonna get no wings tomorrow.
And I'm not going to work Monday. I've took the day off. The schools are closed. I wouldn't even try to handle business Monday, especially if we win. Yeah.
There's 3 people from. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but there's 3 people from our office that are gonna show up Monday for that particular reason. But no, I work from home, so no big deal.
So I wanted to go. The cheapest ticket is $6,000.
Yep. Yep. My wife was telling me about that.
It's like $30,000. So I'm cool. I have a nice big TV. It's crazy here. We're talking about Super Bowl and tech. You would be surprised. There are a lot of people who are going to Rent-A-Center and errands and places like that and renting one big ass TV for the whole day and returning it on Monday.
Yep. Exactly. I've heard of that. You know what? I've been guilty of that. But anyways, before we have our TV, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna front. I've been guilty of that, so that's in the past. But now we have a big TV, so it's kind of ironic, folks. That I'm talking about 65-inch and I can't see the damn thing. But anyways,
before we get started, if I want to mention, definitely, we're streaming on all these platforms. Your questions and comments during the show, interaction is definitely helpful. I want to thank George for giving me the opportunity to be here. I definitely appreciate you. And also, by looking at the website, you may see links and stuff and things for donations. I want to make it first and foremost clear that donations are not by any means necessary required. Everything that you give is greatly appreciated. It helps me bring better content, which you'll learn more about that here in a second. It helps me bring more reviews, get my hands on products to give you guys a better outlook, and it helps me, be the best that I can be here. Not required. greatly well appreciated, and I thank George for giving me this opportunity.
No,
To
thank you
stand up
for
here.
to want to put up with my blind butt. But the thing is, yes, folks, everything's on the website regarding Quentin. And just think about this, folks. Unfortunately, technology is very expensive, especially mobile phones. I mean, no matter Android or iOS, they're very, very expensive. The high end ones. And the thing is, we want to sponsor, we want to donate. That's great. It's going to go to this the content, and the content we want to make it very exclusive and unique. And what I mean by unique, folks, yeah, there's tech shows about this and about that, but we want to focus, excuse me, on technology that makes life easier for those who have a visual impairment or blind. And we're going to talk about Jaws. We're going to talk about this. We're about to talk about that. So if you have any comments, questions you want from me or Miss Queen Aries or Mr. Quentin, email us. You can email us either for Quentin, which is on the website, or you can email info@novisioninternetradio.com. That's info@novisioninternetradio.com. Or call and leave a comment, 1-800-219-6663. That 1-800-219-6663. And actually, Quentin came up with an idea. We might integrate it into the future shows, having the call in. For people to call in, we can also do that. People call in and give their comments or questions. Though we will not, I will not allow any profanity or any comments negativity. I will disconnect the call. So that's our purpose for the show.
Yeah, just don't use off-colored language. I mean, things. Just be reasonable.
Yeah.
And all comments are welcome. If you think if you hate me, hey, more power to you. But if you like me, hey, let me know that too. All suggestions, questions, comments, concerns, all feedback is greatly appreciated. And also with us streaming live, for the trolls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, we got something for you. So,
well, the thing about this, because people have said this, Quentin, even on my other podcasts, like I said, I've been doing this for 9 years, and
wow.
There's pre-recorded and there's live, and the reason I like live, for me, we talked about this too, Quentin, is it's more spontaneous. Because when you're pre-recording, you could edit the bad stuff, like you said, like earlier when I messed up, oops. But this gives it a fresh feel to it, and plus, like you were saying, Quentin, and you suggested this, is have more of an engagement. And what that means, folks, another part of this show that's unique, we want to be engaging. So that means if you comment while Quentin and Miss Queen Aries are discussing the topic, what I could do is check on the comments and post them on the show, on the screen, so you'll be able to see the question or whatever it is. So that's why we want to be engaging. The more participation we have, the better. Matter of fact, the last show I was telling Mr. Quentin and Miss Aries Queen Aries is that we had 300 hits. That's our first show, folks. That's not bad at all.
Oh wow!
That's not bad at all. That's not bad. So we want to pick that up. We want to make this your show. This is not our show. We're just bringing you the content. Oh, before I forget, disclaimer: we're going to use other people's content or videos to put the foundation to what we're going to talk about. We don't own those videos or those content. Like for today we're going to play CNN and I think it's Google or iDevice Help. It's a YouTube channel. But we want to provide you information and entertainment. Okay, so take that to heart, folks. We want to be, me and Mr. Quentin and Miss Queen Aries, how you were saying it earlier when we were talking the other day, Quentin, about providing workarounds?
Definitely. We want to find workarounds that, definitely make your lives easier. Everybody has different hacks. We all have stuff that we might not want to do or don't like to do. So if there's a hack or something, especially with tech that we can provide, definitely we'll do it. That may be a way of navigating the website or I was actually telling Queen about this the other day. DoorDash, like for example, DoorDash, they don't like if you ever order some food and you feel like it's taking them forever to assign you a dasher. Someone told me a while ago, they said, well, if you haven't gotten a dasher within 20 minutes, you can actually call DoorDash and say, hey, it's been about 20 minutes, I don't have a dasher, and they have to manually assign you a dasher because I mean, nobody wants cold food, and they don't really want to have to give you your money back, so they'll manually assign you a dasher. So that's definitely a good hack. So.
Oh, really? I know
So
that.
nobody wants cold food.
Right, I don't. No, I don't. And, matter of fact, funny you mentioned that. Yesterday, I ordered from what's the other one called? Uber Eats. It took an hour and a half to get.
Wow.
My tacos were cold. But anyways, hey, I tell my wife the other day. My wife, or this morning, my wife, just to tell folks, just to put a little humor into my wife, Quentin. She's a personal care attendant, and she works with the elderly. And she has one client that literally, when I call her, it's like she's in the dance club. You can hear that stuff in the mic. Where are you at? She says, she's 91 years old, the poor lady. She's hard of hearing deaf. But I think my wife is starting to get affected, Quentin and Miss Green, areas, because this morning I was like, wow, you know what, babe, I'm excited. We're going to do a new tech show and with Quentin and his girlfriend. And wow, I'm really excited. She's like, what did you just say? I'm like, what did I say? I'm like, what did I say? She's like, did you say sex show? No, tech show. I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Wow.
She's going hard of hearing there.
Well, okay.
But I'm like, hello. But anyway, so like I said, folks, we're going to be talking about, because there's a lot of misconception, and Quentin will talk about this. He's going to be the subject expert when it comes to Android and accessibility. I'm not. I'm going to be very, very honest with you. I'm more accessibility on the iOS side and JAWS. But you want to give a background on yourself so people kind of know your background there, Mr. Quentin and Ms. Queen Aries?
Yeah, so I was telling George, it's crazy, and I'll let her give her reasons on why she does what she does. But we're kind of an odd couple. We both use a combination of iOS and Android. So, of course, I remember the flip phone era. We go back to those days. Nokia, old reliable Nokia. You hang up on somebody, you just flip the phone closed just like that. Bye. Then the first smartphone was George. I know you remember the Symbian phones.
Yep, sure do.
I used Symbian with talks, and that was before apps kind of. As much as I bash iOS was I think it was the iPhone 3G was the first smartphone to come with an app store. But I did use Nokia Symbian. It was all right. But I started to use Android before it was popularized. First phone was a Motorola Droid 2. Back then, blind people could only use Androids when with physical keyboards and or either the little trackball in the middle. So I had the keyboard. I actually missed the keyboard phone. So I was a Motorola Droid 2. So, the Droid or Hello Moto,
Yeah,
so,
yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Those were the good days. And then I had an iPhone 4S. And I absolutely loved it. I thought Siri was the best thing ever, but now since I've used Google, since I've used the lady that starts with an A, I'm not going to say it because I'm not trying to trigger everybody.
Right, everybody
kill me. I realize Siri is very stupid. And I know I'm going to trigger a lot of people, but Siri is very stupid. She's very limited. One thing that pisses me off is every time if I ask her a question, she tells me 1 sec. What are you telling me 1 sec? I paid all this money for you. You better work now. So, but I use a combination of both, iOS and Android. Now, I prefer iOS for business purposes. It's less frustrating. iOS is very good productivity wise. The accessibility is a little more straightforward. You don't have to question yourself with Apple. Android, I like the freedom. I like the customization. I like the array of choices. You have so many brands, so many manufacturers. You have anything from people, right now at Walmart, you can get an Android phone for $20, and then you have phones going all the way up to $2,000, the Galaxy Fold, we'll talk about that here in a second. So Android is very customizable. You have choices, you have an array of options, but what I would tell anybody.
Well, this is kind of real fast. You're right. I was testing something right now. You're right, Quentin, and I'm going to kind of go over what you were saying real quick. Siri, I'm a hardcore Android Apple guy, so I'm going to be straight out honest with you. But you're right. I rather use Alexa. Ooh, almost said the word. I almost said that word. Sorry, folks.
Not talking to you.
Yeah.
She came on. Yeah,
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. My bad. That's why I didn't want to say it.
let me mute her.
But the thing is, I rather use Amazon
Yes.
than Siri's because there's two things. You're right. She's quicker, Amazon, and number two, the information is more wide, or what's that word I'm looking for? Because Siri is more. That's not the thing. I will say that. Yeah, Siri's is not very well with Apple. I'm being very honest with you.
No,
people might not like that, but I'm going to be honest.
But my main phones, real briefly, my main phones each day that I have in my pocket right now, anybody that cares, my main SIM card, my main phone number is a Google Pixel 6. And I have an iPhone 13 mini for my secondary and my productivity phone. And every once in a while, I will rotate between the Pixel 6 and the Galaxy S21. And just for anybody that cares, if you are blind and you want to try Android, Samsung and Google is the way to go.
Oh, let me ask you this, Quentin. Maybe Miss Aries could interject in this regarding how you use it. In other words, why is it that so many people, that myself, people that are blind or vision impaired, kind of give the nose to Android when it comes to accessibility? Is it because of the history, or what do you think that's the most misconception about Android and accessibility, or even Samsung?
Android is looked at as cheap.
Yes. Android is looked at as a cheap phone, and iOS is looked at as like the Rolls Royce of phones.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I know myself because I have both phones. And like when I get somebody my number and I find out they have a Droid, I'm like, ugh, you have a Droid? Like you're not one of us. You don't.
I've been there. I've been there. Yes, ma'am.
With you, we can't sit with you. So, which is funny because I started out with Droid, but I think people look at Droids as cheaper phones compared to an iPhone. If that makes sense.
You're right. No, you're right, and you're so right, Miss Aries, because. That's the way I am sometimes. Like, you have an Android, especially you're visually impaired or blind. Like, what's wrong with you? You can't afford one, or you can't afford an iPhone, And the thing is, I think what you want to bring to the table, Quentin, is that be open minded.
Yes,
Android or whatever works for you best.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're here to give you the information, folks. How you process it is up to you. If you don't like Android or you don't like iOS, that's fine. But if you do like Android, tell us why. Or you like iOS, tell us why. So we could kind of elaborate more on that. But go ahead, Mr. Quentin.
Well, I want to talk about this Samsung. But before we do that, if you want to I think we have, I'm on YouTube. We have a comment.
Okay. I'm not showing my end. I'm sorry.
So
I guess it's not connected to the...
Kiss 87.
Hey, Kiki. I know who that is.
Kiss 87 wit or white up if I
it's wit. It's
okay, wit. Kiss 87 wit says my dad just transferred from a flip phone to a smartphone last year. That had to be fun setting that up. I remember everybody has elderly, if you have your parents or someone that's elderly that tries to navigate a smartphone. I know someone, her grandparents, they had flip phones all their lives. Grandfather worked for Ford, so he never really needed to use a computer. He would play video games every now and then, but long story short, they went to AT&T to upgrade their phones, and somehow the salesman convinced them to get iPhones. And I used to contract for Target Tech, and it's funny. The old people, they're real funny. They come in and say, "No, baby, I just want something I can talk and text." I say, "Oh, okay, well, that's fine." You show them the flip phones, but then "Oh no, baby, I want the fruit phone. I want to talk video with my grandkids." I said, "What? You want to talk video?" And then you get it, and you spend 3 hours telling them how it works. Let me tell you something. I have been out of town and have gotten a text message from home and damn near rushed back home because I thought somebody was dying.
Really?
I couldn't comprehend the text message. Old people, just if you have grandparents or parents, just call them. Don't even put them through the house.
My mom, when my mom was still alive, she would do that. And I bought her an iPhone on purpose because she had an Android And every time she would mess it up, because, I'm like, what do you do? So I bought her an iPhone. Quentin, Quinaries, I don't know what or how she did. Sometimes I look at her, I'm like, what the heck did you do to this phone? She was like offline or, I'm like, Lord have, and you're right, Quentin, because we assume, because we grew up as I'm kind of older, I'm probably older than you, Quentin. I think cell phones for me came in, I want to say 2005? The regular phone, not the brick phone back in the day.
No,
Nokia's, like the little Nokia.
Yeah, the Nokia.
9 before.
Yeah.
I remember my first real quote unquote phone was a Motorola Trek or the Motorola Razr. The Razr.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. From VoiceStream, way back in the day. But see, back then
that's before they were T-Mobile.
Mm-hmm. And I had vision back then. And when I lost my vision, I went to a flip phone. Remember the ABC? So
my gosh.
B is 2, and then A, and then 3, and then crap, I messed up. And then, so I've been there. So
we have evolved. I'm telling you. I remember in high school, we thought that was the thing with the Nokias. Like, you didn't tell us nothing. You just like a penny a text. And
remember that? Yes, ma'am.
It lasted a long time. Actually, I think we ran one over. My mom put her phone on top of the car. Because, of course, she didn't know how to work it. Backed out of the driveway and ran it over.
Yep.
And it still worked. It was dented, but she was able to call, and she kept that phone for a little minute before she got a new one. I'm like, get rid of that thing. But
well, remember back in the day, see, the young folks might be like, what the hell are you talking about? Back in the day, when you were to buy a phone, you bought it. You didn't put on payment plans.
Right.
You had to. I bought the Razr. Quentin, Missouri for $600. I saved my money up. Boom, I got it. I'm out flexing. Yeah, I have this phone. So we're gonna go out with my cousin and his friends. And my friend, his friend brought a brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse, real pretty car. Boom, we're all think we're all cool guys. And my cousin was using the phone. So we take off, and this is when I still had a little bit of vision. And I see something. It was nighttime. I see something flash in the street. I'm like, what the hell was that? I go, hey, I was about to say my cousin's name, but I won't say it. Hey, Bob, I'll say his name. Bob, where's my phone? Oh, crap, I left it on top of the car. Oh, that was the thing that flashed in the street.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about, for those who don't know, is back in the day, folks, believe it or not, you got charged per minute for voice and text.
Yep.
Okay, so you got a bill for $2,000. Like, what? Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yep, you sure did. I feel like phones, though, back then lasted longer. I feel like these new phones that are only made to last like 2 years, if that. And that's after you buy all the extra accessories to keep it going. But
yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, Quentin, this is what I don't get. Especially people that are vision impaired and blind. Okay, you buy a phone for $1,000. The iPhone, whatever, the Samsung, whatever, whatever, the flagship phone. Mm-hmm. And you gotta buy a cover, you buy a screen protector, and then they sell the colors of the phones now, we'll talk about later. And I'm like, why? If you're gonna cover it, unless you buy a clear cover, but more
I have
stuff
a clear
to buy.
Cover for my Pixel 6 because it's like a off-white greenish color, and I want to show it off, so I have a clear case.
Oh, it's flexing.
And I'm not flexing. It's funny. We were talking about this the other day. Me and her were talking about this. Do not. And I'm just gonna. If you work for a carrier store, I apologize. Do not buy your cases and screen protectors through the carrier. Mm-hmm. They are. Yeah. I can't say what I said in private, but they're getting.
No. I'll say it. I bought from when I got my iPhone 11 Pro Max. I'm like, fuck, I bought it, folks, for me and my wife. 2 covers. I mean, 2 outer box covers, screen protectors. I think I spent $60 for both of them and the screen protectors. And the screen protectors came with like 4 or 5 of them. I'm like, wow, and you're right. I'm sorry, folks, if you work for T-Mobile or something, but it is
because I know you thrive on that commission. I know. I'm sorry, but
they do. So, but we're talking about you want to talk about the Samsung 22,
yes. And by the way, Kiss 87, yes, it's a good thing your father doesn't text, and it saves you heart attacks and time. Just pick up the phone and call. So, and
it's funny you say that. One time, me and my mom, when she was staying with us, because when she got sick, she was in the other room. And we're texting each other, like, how you doing? You feeling okay? And are you hungry? And I'm like, why the hell am I texting her? She's in the next room. You know what I mean? I just walked up to them like, "Why are we texting?" We're both laughing. You're like, "We're in the same household, man."
That's a thing. That is a thing.
It is a thing. Like I don't like texting. I can't grasp your emotions through a text message. I don't care if you send me a whole.
How about WhatsApp? Do you like WhatsApp?
I don't use WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp is nice, especially if you're dealing with someone that lives like overseas or in another country. It's perfect. But WhatsApp to me,
hey, you weren't supposed to tell them I'm overseas.
Right.
I'm like, wait, what? I mean, I guess you are overseas because that whack team is going to the Super Bowl.
Okay, anyway.
Oh, here we go.
Anyways, but no. I like WhatsApp. It's really nice. I like the feature. To me, it's a little bit faster when you're texting in WhatsApp because it's a version of Facebook. It's an entity of Facebook, so.
Yeah, that's right, and that's why I personally I like WhatsApp because you could give like the person that like you said, Quincy, you're right. Like, I'm hungry, for example, right? That's my favorite word for my wife, anyways. But anyway, say I'm hungry. If I tell you, Quincy, I'm hungry, or text you, right? You read it, but if I say, "Hey, Quincy, I'm hungry, man," this is different in your tone, your voice, right?
Eat now, like I'm
like,
get him some food before it turns into the person.
And that's what I'm saying. That technology has its benefits and it has its drawbacks.
That's what Kiss Wit is saying right now. She's saying military families, it's perfect for them for the WhatsApp because, again, they're overseas. So some of these phones, like I remember being in Cuba and I could not use my phone for nothing.
Really?
But having apps like WhatsApp really came through very clutch because I was like, okay, so people could communicate with me because, over in Cuba and, over here, it's like, people are like, are you okay? Send us an SOS because their technology is actually behind compared to where we are now. They're still stuck in the 60s. So,
and the thing about the like where I live, we're like literally next to the border of Mexico. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people, my friends that have family in Mexico, use WhatsApp because you don't have any charges from the roaming charges from the carriers. And, you could talk, whatever you want to say. And so it's encrypted. For the drug dealers. But anyways, I'm sorry, I had to go there.
We just got demonetized. Cash App and PayPal.
I have no affiliation with that comment.
Right, I don't know him. Cash App and PayPal is in the link.
Right, I'm sorry, I had to say that. But anyways,
I'm just here with the jokes. I'm not here for anything else. I'm just.
Because people, when I used to live in Dallas, people would tell me, "Where are you from, El Paso?" I'm like, "Yeah, is that Mexico?" I'm like, oh, "No, we're in Texas." It's right, cause literally, like me right now, folks, just to let you know, I'm 4 miles away from the border.
Oh, so, I'm close. I'm close to Canada, so I completely get it. I'm in Detroit, and it's like a hop over just to go to Canada is a couple minutes.
Is that what? Oh, never mind. Go politics, but never mind.
All right, so
yeah, I was about to go there, but anyways,
let's get into the Samsung.
That's
discussion.
a different show.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. So about the Samsung, before we get into that, the payment plans that George was talking about. Back then we didn't do payment plans. If you are on Verizon, as of February 9th, there is no more 24-month contracts. It is all 36-month payment plans.
Oh, I heard about
Even
that.
on the cheap devices, which, the cheap devices are not going to last 3 years. But, yeah, everything now is 36 months. And once we talk about these Samsung phones that just came out, you'll probably see why. But, yeah, they're doing 36 months. I know T-Mobile, if you are extremely well qualified, which means you haven't missed a payment in like 2 or 3 years, you can get to 36 months, and AT&T does 30 months. But Verizon is strictly 36 months, no early upgrades. You cannot pay more towards the device. Like with T-Mobile, what I like about T-Mobile is, let's say I got an extra $200 or something, and I want to put it towards my device payment plan. I can do that. Mm-hmm. Verizon, you can't do that. You either pay it off at once, or you just continue to make a monthly payment. So they know how to get you. So we're gonna talk about this Samsung, and if and it is a good thing with Samsung. We'll get into that here in a second. We were talking about how phones are not lasting. Samsung is switching that problem, so it might not be as bad holding on to your phone for 3 years. So. The Galaxy S22, S22 Plus, and the S22 Ultra have been announced as of February 9th. The Unpacked event happened. And I think we might have a clip to go over the specs or talk about the phones a little bit. And then everybody, we'll go ahead and we'll play that clip. And then my wonderful panel here will give our opinions. And if you have any questions or comments, or you want to chime off about the phones, what do you think? Are you going to buy as a flip or flop? Let us know. So we're going to go ahead and roll that.
Okay.
let's unpack the Galaxy S22, S22 Plus, and S22 Ultra. All three represent the first flagship Android phones of 2022, giving us a taste of what's to come. For starters, they're all powered by the latest chipset from Qualcomm, which should be more efficient and is leading Samsung to promising some big leaps in the camera department. All three S22s sport triple camera systems with up to 100x space zoom support. Notably in our demo, zooming up to 30x on the S22 or S22 Plus and 100x on the S22 Ultra felt swifter, and a quick look at some test shots yielded much clearer results. Samsung even has a new video mode to take on Apple's cinematic mode. Essentially, a mode that lets you switch who or what is the focal point of a video. The S22 and S22 Plus both sport a more premium design that ditches plastic for a full aluminum and glass build. That's something we're very happy it's being tossed to the side. They feel great in our hands, and we especially like that the 6.1 inch and 6.6 inch screens are flat. You can also pick some fun colors, though we're especially fond of the green, and we'd be lying if we said we weren't missing purple. Come on, Samsung. The S22 Ultra is the biggest change, though, and effectively, Samsung's team combined last year's S21 Ultra with the Note 20 Ultra. Yep, the S22 Ultra has an integrated S Pen, so it's basically a Galaxy Note with all the benefits of being a Galaxy S. The pen felt good to write with during our hands-on, and we're eager to see how this translates to everyday performance and functionality. We do wish, though, that Samsung at least added support for the S Pen to the S22 and S22 Plus. If you're already sold, Samsung's taking pre-orders and offering some nice deals across the whole family, and they'll begin arriving to customers on February 25th. We're going to be spending a lot of time with the S22, S22 Plus, and S22 Ultra.
Well, that was a video, Mr. Quinton.
All right, so I don't think it mentioned prices. So let's go over those prices real quick, and then I'll talk about some of the deals. So some of the specs it left out, the Galaxy S21, I'm sorry, the S22 5G, the standard starts at $799. It has a 6.1 inch display. It does have so it's a smaller screen from last year and a smaller battery. It's a 3,700 milliamp hour battery versus a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. It supports 25 watt fast charging, and I really want to give my opinion on about how they're not putting the charger in the box. We'll get to that here in a second, and I'll be very nice about that as best as I can.
Yeah, I've heard about that. They're not putting the box.
$799. No headphones, no charging brick in the box. Blah blah blah. The S22 Plus starts at $999. 6.6 inch display, so once again smaller than last year. Last year was 6.7 inch for the S21 Plus, and a smaller battery, 4,500 versus 4,800. But the S22 Ultra, which is the big boy, starts at $1,199.
Wow.
And it has a 6.8 inch display, so it's unchanged. It's the only one that has a quad HD, so pretty much almost 4K display. It has the same 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I would have liked to see something bigger because it's supposed to be the flagship of all. It has the other two phones have a 50 megapixel main camera lens, while this one has a 108 megapixel camera lens with a 100 times zoom. So you can see things that you shouldn't see. Maybe you can see things that
you shouldn't see. I'm not supposed to see that, am I?
Right. Now, the Plus and the Ultra they support 45 watt fast charging. Once again, the charger's not in the box. As I said, the S22 Ultra has the S Pen. And
well, let me ask you this real fast, Quentin, and I've been asked this question before, and I want to put it on the record, so to speak. And Apple's doing the same thing. What's the purpose of not putting the charger? What is the end game?
So Apple started this. Okay, I'm trying to be professional. Apple started this mess, and basically what they said is, basically it's for the environment. We want to be environment conscientious or whatever. So we're gonna not put the charger in the box. and it saves money. Obviously, it's not saving us money, but it's cutting down on the carbon footprint in the environment and all that BS and whatever. So a 25-watt fast charging brick is going to run you about 20. I would say the 45 watts probably going to be about $40. What I will do to supplement your problems, I will actually post during the week. Georgia update the website for both the Galaxies and the iOS. I'll have some links to some reputable brand chargers and cables that are less than what Samsung and Apple are going to want, because you're going to spend like $70 with Apple. But I have some reputable brands that might be more pocketable friendly. But yeah, so one of the deals that they have, if you preserved your device, which means you put yourself on the list right before the Unpacked event happened. You're kind of first in line. They're giving you a $250 credit, so you can actually get yourself some headphones, some Galaxy Buds, or get yourself a case or whatever. Which in that case, that I would say, yeah, go ahead and get yourself a $50 or $60 case. Hey, go ahead. They're giving it to you for free. Now, in particular, with the Galaxy S22 Ultra, that starts at $1199. I'm going to get a little technical here for a second. That's the 8 gig of RAM, 128 gig model. But for $50 more, you can get 12 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of storage. But right now, through Samsung and all carriers and selective retailers, if you pre-order right now, all the way up until the 24th, no matter which model you get, whether it's the S22, 22 Plus, or the Ultra, they will upgrade you to the next storage tier for free.
Wow.
So if you get the 128 gig, they'll give you the 256 for free. Your payments will not be impacted. And so the top of the line, but if you go past that, the top of the line S22 5G, the standard is $850 for the 256. It's $1,049 for the S22 Plus. And it's $1,449 for the S22 Ultra. That's at 16 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte storage, and it does have that S Pen. Yeah, 1 terabyte. They are giving you 1 terabyte because there is no micro SD card slot, and some people are going to. All those cameras do record in 8K, which a lot of us don't even have 8K TVs. Mm-hmm. There's not even an option for 8K, so. Those are the specs. Those are the prices. Those are some of the deals. I know all the carriers are offering it to you for free if you trade in. So right now, very briefly, T-Mobile, $1,000 off if you're on the Magenta Max. So that's like their top of the line plan. $1,000 off for trade in, or up to $500 off if you are not on the top of the line. Verizon, they're offering it to you up to $1,000 off. And AT&T is offering up to $1,000 off for new and existing customers. Once again, you have to trade in, and keep in mind what I said. Verizon, 36 month payment plans.
That's a long time.
One thing Samsung is doing is, instead of 3 years of software updates, they are now committing to 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security updates. So that's actually pretty good.
Let me ask you this, Quentin, about that, because I want to mention this too before we go any further. We're going to do the same thing for Apple, folks. The reason why Quentin is bringing up Android right now, because it's being done as we speak. iPhone was born in March, and then it's born in September. But Miss Queen Leary, Aries, you're right. I do apologize. The comments are popping up on my end. I do apologize. Let me go and show the folks what I'm talking about. And Miss Aries is going to be our reader or commentator. Here we go.
I can do that.
Okay. I know somebody's telling me to shut up. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop rambling, and I'm gonna let them. I know you're saying my voice sounds ugly, so they're gonna give their opinions. I promise.
Wow, rude. Why?
Why did you do that? But what's up with that? But anyways,
really?
Like I said, folks, our intention is to, for example, I didn't know about the 1 terabyte. I didn't know that. Number 2, I didn't know about the automatic upgrade to the 258. Because 256. Apple won't do that. No. Straight out. And if you do want to do that, they're going to charge you, $150 or $100 more?
Yeah.
So that's why we want to give you that information. You want to process as you want. if you don't like it, that's fine. We're gonna talk about other stuff. We're gonna talk about Jaws and so relax, cool your heels. But yeah, the comments. Did you see the comment, Ms. Aries? Did I show it or not?
The comments here or on YouTube?
I'm gonna show it on the screen here.
Let me grab my phone.
Here, I showed it right now. See if you can see that.
Are you from on a private chat?
It's on the screen. It's about Kisses 87. I think that's your friend.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I want to do. That's what Mr. Quinton was talking about. We want to be interactive. You want to comment. Now, if my dumb butt didn't realize that, I do apologize. I'll get better in this eventually.
You're good. I got you.
So, but Quinton, let me ask you this thing. Going back to my original thought here. So, if to my understanding, like I said, I might be naive. It's been years. The last time I used Android, it was on ice cream or Kit Kat. That's been a while. And what I'm talking about, folks, is who we're not aware. Android has levels of iOS. For example, iPhone, it just distributes to all the iPhones from I think the 6 Plus up to the 13. We're all on the same level, but not the same experience because of the chip. However, on the Android, there's different levels depending on the phone you get. Like I think you said, or Miss Aries said about you could get an Android for $20. Yeah,
right.
But you're gonna get a bad experience. But let me ask you this: when it comes to accessibility, how is that impacted by the different levels of iOS?
So it's funny you mentioned that, and just to back up, no, he's not being fat when he said ice cream or Kit Kat. For those that don't know, Android used to be named after desserts. So very briefly, we started back with cupcake. So cupcake, donut, eclair, froyo, gingerbread.
Did you call me cupcake? You call me cupcake in front of you call me cupcake in front of Queen Aries?
Well, okay.
What's up with that, man?
I mean,
No, it ain't that type of part.
Okay.
All right. So so it was cupcake, donut, eclair, froyo, gingerbread, honeycomb, ice cream sandwich, jelly bean, Kit Kat, lollipop, marshmallow, nougat, Oreo, and pie.
Wow.
After pie, because so as you can see, it's going in alphabetical order. There's nothing I don't even know a dessert that starts with Q. So I don't know if can y'all think of anything? If anybody has a comment, can let me know. But right now with T, we would be on T for Android 13. That's supposed to be coming up. That one's actually going to be called tiramisu. So
really,
they like desserts at Google. So, but to answer your question, accessibility. So after ice cream sandwich, when we went into jelly bean, and Google started to iOSify Android, and by that what I mean is that's when the double tap started to happen. That's when you can navigate like you would an iPhone. It's not the same, but it's the same concept because they figured, well, a lot of vision impaired people were using iPhone, so let's adapt a concept that they were comfortable with. And for a while, Samsung actually went with that. Samsung was actually using a different type of situation that was separate from TalkBack. They were actually using what used to be called Voice Assistant. And what I liked about Voice Assistant is it actually implemented some of the iOS gestures that I love. So for an iOS, for those that don't know, you can actually to answer a phone call, and to end the phone call, you can do a 2-finger double tap. Samsung implemented those gestures. So what Google realized was, okay, hey, Samsung has the right idea. So now Google and Samsung kind of partnered with each other to make this version of TalkBack as we know it. And your devices are accessible out of the box. So once you get your Galaxy device, all you have to do to turn on TalkBack is to hold the right when you get to the welcome screen, you hold the volume keys down, and a little confirmation will come up, and it'll tell you to hold down for 2 seconds or whatever, or to do it again. So you just follow that and follow the instructions. You can actually do the tutorial. So it's like VoiceOver. VoiceOver gives you a tutorial.
How what's that word? How reactive is, because I remember, like I said, when I used it back in the day, I was swiping and like a nanosecond later it would say what I was saying. Like, is it more reactive now?
It's very responsive. It's very interactive. Samsung. Now, if I have a choice, Samsung is the way they make their hardware. The 120 hertz. If you can't see like 120 hertz, a refresh rate is good when you're watching big screen TVs. It's good for gamers. If you're a gamer, you appreciate a higher refresh rate. But in actuality, to someone that can't see the screen, it actually does feel faster. The scrolling and the swiping is faster. And it actually is pretty good. We came a long way. So I encourage you, pick up one, try out the tutorial. Um, I'm pretty sure all of the carriers have a motto. If you actually order through customer service, two things: tell them, hey, I'm blind, pull the blind card. I know they're tired of this. Tell them you're blind. They'll waive the activation fee. And you have 20 days instead of 14 days to play around with it and return it. So I would encourage you to do that. And usually when you order through customer service and you return something, you do not have to pay the restocking fee.
But you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Chris, I didn't mean to cut you off. But I'm glad you mentioned about, say I'm blind when you're talking to someone. Because, folks, you have to understand, a majority, actually, of people that are visually impaired or blind are unemployed. They're living off of SSI or SSDI. So to get to this type of technology and this type of access, it costs money. So, I mean, if you have to tell someone, you know what, cut me a break because I'm not making that much money. I'm fortunate, Quentin's fortunate that we're both employed. As a matter of fact, I don't get Social Security no more because I lost it because I made too much, but that's fine. I'm lucky, but there's 80% of us that are not lucky that don't have that money to pay for this stuff. And the thing is, don't be afraid to ask for help, folks. There's resources out there that will help you pay for phones. Here in Texas, it's called the STAF, S-T-A-F, or S-T-A, yes, STAF program. And what that does, that gives you up to $650 to pay towards your iOS device, either a tablet or an iPhone. And that comes in handy, folks. And you use it every 5 years. I don't know if you have that in there in Cincinnati, in Ohio, but that's a program they have here in Texas. Well, that helps you pay for your iOS device. I'm not sure about Android. I don't know about that.
No, they typically hate Android, but these specs are compelling. So I want you guys to sign off in the comments. Do you want to buy this phone? Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns? I'm gonna start with you guys. But let's start with the panel here. So briefly, I pre-ordered the standard S22. I got on her nerves the other day because I was sitting here debating. I was like, I really want it. She said, just get it. I was like, that was her way. She wanted to just tell me to shut up, but she didn't.
No, that's why you were debating. I thought you were just rambling. My bad.
I was debating with myself because I really don't need it. I have the S21, but I ordered it. I think I'm going to also eventually get the S22 Ultra. I was telling George the other day, I said, I'm actually going to get the S22 Ultra even if I don't keep it. But I went to go get it. They're sold out. I won't get mine till between April 5th and like the 10th, something like that.
No, let me ask you this, because I've never used I've heard. Matter of fact, who told me? Somebody told me this past week actually about because they're visually impaired or blind and they have Android. The watch for the Android is it Samsung or?
I've never used an Android watch. It wouldn't be Android. It's Wear OS. I have not used a Wear OS watch, and I have not used a Galaxy watch.
I have the Galaxy watch.
Yeah, but she wants an Apple Watch.
I do. I really want an Apple Watch.
No comment.
Let's put it in the universe.
Like me, I have a watch, the tablet, the phone, and the thing is, but like I said. Oh, there you go. And my birthday's coming up next week, okay? Mind you, Quentin, 22nd. Yeah. Right. The thing is, that's what we're telling folks. We want you to be open-minded when it comes to accessibility. I know iOS, but Android, is more customizable. Try it. If you don't like it, well, then that's fine. But at least it didn't hurt. Because I know for a fact you're right, Quentin. Android is customizable from the launch pad or the launch screen to there should be an app back in the day. It's not around anymore. It's called I went blank. But anyways, it was an app that would break up your screen into 6 little boxes. And they're very simple, real simplistic. But that was on purpose for someone that's had a dexterity issue or just brand new to touch the screen.
Right.
And the thing is, there's options out there, folks. Try it. And then if you see something that you want us to look at more in depth, tell us. You know what? I saw this thing on seeing whatever. Like, for example, this morning a friend of mine told me about chicken nuggets. It's an old program. I don't know if you heard about it, Quentin.
No.
Have you heard about it?
I started thinking about Wendy's.
Right, I know. That's what I thought. I'm like, chicken nuggets are not bad. Well, what it is it's an older program, but what it does is it gives you four. It's chicken nuggets, and it breaks down to four. There's a podcast player. There's all these other stuff. But what I'm saying, folks, is there's stuff out there, depending on your level of experience, which you will feel that you could use to interact with your computer or phone. Let us know. We'll look at it. We'll tell you about it from our perspective. Like Quentin and myself. Quentin has experience. Did you talk about your background? I don't remember that. Or Miss Aries?
She didn't talk about. She actually did not go into hers. But yeah, I have an extensive background. But
Miss Aries,
you want to tell them why you use, what you see the benefit of each, or the dislikes?
Why I use what? Oh,
why do you prefer iPhone? Why do you prefer Android?
Well,
besides the fact we're not normal.
I know. I mean, I have two phones because I'm just that deal. I mean, I just want two phones. But I mean, for everybody else, let's see. My Android phone, initially I liked the apps better. I was into music more, so I was down, like back in the day when we used to make our own ringtones, yes. It was easier to do it from a Droid compared to iOS because Apple's gonna make you pay for everything. Mm-hmm. Like you got to pay for every single thing. I love my Galaxy. I have an older Galaxy model. I don't remember.
She should pre-order
because I've been picking up. But I started traveling, honestly, when I was getting my Galaxies. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to leave my main phone because I loved my Galaxy S. And I'm going to leave this at home. And when I travel, I'm going to take this iPhone with me so nothing happens. Because at that time, I think they didn't have the waterproof phones yet. So I did the switch because then I looked up and like my whole family, everybody had Apple phones. And I felt like I was out of the loop. FaceTime seemed a lot better. They had the little emojis where you could turn yourself into a character.
Yeah, my wife was
very savvy when it came to social media. Then I started seeing on the iPhone, like, hey, I can take this video and boom, it comes to you crispy. It doesn't have to load. It was just more tech savvy. So for the new, I guess people coming up, it was more, it played in the role with social media and the change that was about to happen. Not saying that Galaxy is a bad phone, because like I said, I still love it, but now it's so weird because I'll get on my Galaxy, I'll be like, oh my God, how do you screenshot on this thing? I'm like, wait a minute, like, how do I do this? Like, so I feel like they're both good phones. It just depends on what you want to use your phone for. If you're somebody like me who's on social media and like I have like the podcast now.
No, talk about your podcast real fast. No. Give a shout out.
Well, let me do that. No.
We're putting on Front Street. There you go.
But I'm just saying, so for my podcast, I became more tech savvy because I could log into different apps faster, whereas the Galaxy, I'm searching for this, I'm searching for that. So if you're somebody that's not always on your phone and you just want a good phone, then sure, go with Galaxy. You can't go wrong with a Galaxy. Anything outside of that, I don't know, it's kind of suspect. But yes.
Well, what's the name? What's the name of your podcast?
If you're 80 years old, get a $20 phone.
Right.
The name of my podcast is called Laugh to Keep from Crying.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yes. I've been on hiatus since November, but I am getting it back together, and it's every Friday at 6.
It's a lot of work, folks. It's you'll attest to this, Miss Ari. It's a lot of work because it's not just simple to jump on and like me. I was telling Quentin before we started. I had 2 computers, an iPad, 1 phone, all going at one time. So it's very difficult, folks. But hey, I enjoy it. My background, I call them tools. We use the computer or the iPhone or the iPad. I use it as tools because my background has always been vocational. And what I mean by that is, at one time I was a TWC job coach, and my goal was to help those individuals focus on their potential, not their limitations. And what I would do is, like you said, Quentin, earlier, have those workarounds. Like if you can't do it this way, how about this way? There's, how they say there's 29 ways to skin a cat or something like that.
Yeah.
And but the thing is, for me, my mindset is, how do I apply what you need, you the customer, you the listener, or someone's watching? How can we help you apply what you want to do to what you need to do, right? For example, email or text. For example, someone like you said, Quentin, right now, someone's elderly. They can't really, what do I do? But like my mom, that's why I got her the iPhone, because I told her, just you can leave it. And it actually helped her one time. She had fallen down. The phone fell like maybe 3 feet from her. And she was able to use, hey Siri, call son. And so I'm talking to her. I'm like, where the hell are you, Mom? I'm on the floor.
Sorry,
what?
I don't know who your son is. In fact, I don't know.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
That's my mom talking to me from the grave. That scared the hell out of me. But the thing is really how you want to apply for it. That scared me the hell out of me. I'm like, what? Talking about my mom and but the point is,
Kiss Wit is saying she loves her iPhone because she uses it for work, notes, reminders, emails. She says, I can upload photos, notes, websites, and share it anywhere.
Yes. And the thing about that too, Miss, and I didn't realize is, like from work, if they send me an email, it pops on my calendar right away.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, that is sweet. That's the cool thing I didn't realize. But the thing is, like I said, folks, we're here to provide you information, content. Like I keep saying this, like Quentin says, interactive. You want to call us and provide your feedback, or in future shows, call in 1-800-219-6663. That's 1-800-219-6663. Quentin's contact information is on our website, which is novisioninternetradio.com. It's right there. And also, if you want to email, info@novisioninternetradio.com. You're more welcome to do that. Before I forget, I had told you this about this. I don't know if you remember this, Quentin. 2 weeks from now, folks, because next week I do have a show midweek scheduled, because I do other shows besides this one. Politics stuff. But anyway, we're going to go there. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a young lady, and she has a show on our YouTube channel, and she talks about how to interact with daily living around the house, being visually impaired and blind. So that's the same concept we want to use here with this show, the Tech Rants show. And tell me about the title, because you made the title there. So you're the culprit. So tell people why that title.
I'll do that briefly, and then I want to get you guys' opinion on this Galaxy.
Oh yes.
But basically, I tried to do YouTube back in the day, and that I called myself Tech Rants because anytime something would happen with tech, I would just rant. It was not children appropriate. I said some things that probably would have demonetized me. I probably would never ever get sponsors. But I found myself ranting about tech. So I don't know, it just stuck. So I was like, okay, well, we might rant. I don't know. We haven't this week. It seems that hasn't happened yet.
It's gonna happen.
That
it's gonna happen. Trust me.
I will say this. I think it's stupid, this whole environment mess. Apple started this mess, not putting a charger in the box. So now Samsung doesn't put a charger in the box. Google doesn't put a charger in the box. Seems like everybody copies Apple. It started with the no headphone jack. When Apple took away the headphone jack with the iPhone 7, everybody else followed. Like,
Quentin, I have
being monkey see, monkey do.
I don't have it here with me. I have it in the bedroom. I have a bag full of earphones, these damn things, the earphones. I got 6 of them, the old ones. Because of iPhone, when they switched over to the...
when they used to come in the box. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't get a charging cable in the box. You don't get a charging board in the box. You don't get headphones. They're talking about here in the next year or two making a portless iPhone.
Portless iPhone.
So you're going to be forced to buy a wireless charger. It's just it's stupid, but maybe phones will get cheaper eventually. I feel like this. If you're telling me your phone has 60-watt fast charge, now we don't get a lot of Chinese phones here in the U.S., but the Chinese phones are wonderful. I might actually get a couple and talk about them. They have a phone now. It can fully charge your phone from 0 to 100 in 22 minutes.
Really?
They put the charger in the box. Samsung and Apple, they don't do that. So
can I tell you something about a quick story about that? Can I tell you a quick story about that? It was a Chinese thing about my phone. When I first got my iPhone My wife, well, not the first time, but when I switched over to phones, it came in the mail. You know, a typical man not going to wait. So I'm like, opening the box and, oh, cool, new phone, and then turned it on, and it has a welcome screen. I don't know if people remember the welcome screen. I'm swiping. And I guess I hit Chinese, and the damn thing started talking. But I'm like, oh, crap. I don't know what it's saying. Like, oh, I had no idea what the phone was saying, but you got to be careful when you do those swipes when you're starting up your phone. But talking about the Samsung, going back to your original thought there, you wanted our opinion on the Samsung.
Yeah, your thought.
I'm interested. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, no, you know what? Ladies first. My bad. That's rude of me. Miss Aries, go first, man. I'm sorry. That's rude of me. I'm sorry.
Wait, what am I doing?
So what are your thoughts on these? What are your thoughts on the Galaxy? Would you buy it? What do you think? You think it's too expensive? Like, what are your thoughts? What do you?
I mean, I'm team iPhone now. Like, I've leveled up.
Well, have you looked at it? Have you looked at it? Maybe you should look at a picture of it. You should look at a picture.
Like I said, because I'm a podcaster, my iPhone is so
I'm shaking my head.
Convenient for me. And again, like, if you're somebody like me who is podcasting, you need those reminders. You need that just smooth transition. Like, my world is in my iPhone, which is so
You
bad.
can do that through Droid. But
like, for example, let me see what she's saying. Hold on, Miss. Let me tell you. Okay, for example, there is a provider I used to use called Buzzsprout. Okay, I could literally do a podcast on my phone, like talk to someone or talk to them, make whatever, save it, upload it to podcast to Buzzsprout via the phone. I mean, all in one shot. Boom, 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 boom. And like I said, I guess because we want to deliver that content quick, it's a lot easier for me.
Right.
Like, granted, I'm gonna lie, I haven't used Android, Quinton, or Samsung. Well, let me ask you this: Samsung and Google, they're two different entities. So people that know that don't know that, which is better when it comes to? Are they the same in accessibility or different?
So Android is basically, first of all, Android is an open source. It's licensed. It's like Windows. So Windows gives its license to many manufacturers. So does Google. They give Android to many manufacturers. So you got Samsung. Google. They're their own. That they make Android. So of course they make their own devices. There's a company called OnePlus. There's TCL, which if you don't know them for their phones, they make TVs. And then they're at one point in time, but as of last year, we had to bury LG. LG no longer makes smartphones. You guys,
they don't.
Everybody remembers LG. LG no longer makes smartphones, so they're dead. I loved LG. I thought LG had a lot of promise, but they just weren't selling. But to answer your question,
chocolate phone, the LG chocolate.
My gosh,
that was my phone in middle school. I had the blue one, I had the red one. Like,
you know, LG, Miss Aries, back in 1990, in 2014. I don't know if you remember this. And Quentin, this is when I still have sight. I'm putting my hands on the screen there, folks, so you can see it. The phone, I forgot what it's called, but it was from LG. And it would do is, you have a phone and it would slide. Yeah. So it would make a bigger screen. Mm-hmm. And you could run your finger on the, and then you slide back together. Yep. That was a cool phone.
I had that phone.
That is so.
That was like the chocolate. And
and then it had the music player.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's when I loved Android, because I was that kid in high school and middle school making ringtones, and you were able to do that. And then when Apple came about and you were so stuck on that old era of doing things with your phone, you can't really do that with Apple iPhone. Apple was like, like, you got to pay for everything over here. So that's why I said Apple was like the Rolls Royce of phones in some people's eyes, because people will judge you based off of your phone, believe it or not, unless you're old.
She did it.
People will judge.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes.
Really?
And then they ask you, iPhone. Well, which phone do you have? Yeah. And me, I'm like, crap. Listen, when I was single, I'm like, I have the latest phone. I have. What the hell? What's the latest phone? I was lying. But the point is, the thing is, you guys, coming from the sighted world, transitioning to the blind world, so to speak. I'm gonna tell you folks my experience. And so I'm always into tech. Always. Since I was a young kid, I was plugging stuff here and plugging stuff there. So my visual thing was very important. So when I transitioned to the blind world, I'm like, how am I going to use a phone? And I remember the very first phone I got that had voice assistant. I almost cried. I'm like, oh man, I could now text people. So you got to understand, people. What we talk about now is a history of it. It's a long history to what we're at now. And not only that, those people that we're talking to, Quentin, that are newly blind due to diabetes or an accident or whatever, there's stuff out there, folks, for you. Either Android, iPhone, Windows, Linux, Mac. There's stuff out there to help you be a productive part of society. Don't be afraid that, oh, what am I going to do now? There's stuff out there, folks. And we want to be that source for you. So let us know. I keep harping on this. Let us know what you want to see. But anyway, going back to Mr. Aries, I don't know if I let you finish your comment, man.
I don't even remember. What were we talking about?
Well, but you had asked me a question about Google and Samsung. There's really no Samsung is, like I said, it's a third party vendor. But as far as accessibility, Google is actually a little bit better because they make the software. Samsung adds their twist on a lot of things. So like I told you the other day, if you want pure software experience, you want the latest and the greatest, you want to try stuff out, get a Google Pixel. The Pixel Android updates are on day one. I get monthly software updates. The Pixels actually have features like they'll wait on hold for you. They'll actually, I did this to her a couple. I can't remember. I think it was a month ago, and she got pissed off. I accidentally hit the wrong button, and she was sitting there talking to the Google Assistant. And
really,
yeah. So you get calls. You can have the Google Assistant screen them. You can't really do that on Samsung, but they're pretty neck and neck. Now Samsung, they've gotten better with software updates. As of the moment, Samsung is beating Google, which is weird. They're beating Google in software support, but due to the fact Google makes their own chips for their phones, they might be able to tweak that. So, but Samsung and Google is pretty much the same. But if you want pure software, you want the software experience, go to Google. Now, if you're all about hardware, latest features, the stuff you don't need, definitely go to Samsung. It's an experience, and I encourage everybody to try out experiences. Now, Samsung, everybody knows Samsung, everybody knows Apple. Google, not so much.
Yeah.
Pixels, they're making Pixels are known for their camera. If you pick up a Pixel, they have excellent cameras. And one thing about Android that I can't seem to turn. I'd love. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Face ID, and we'll talk about iOS here in a second and Face ID. But I love Face ID. It's fast. I'm so glad I got it. But both my Pixel and my Galaxy, they may not be the best. Apple still makes the best fingerprint sensors in the game. But my Android both my Droids have fingerprint sensors. They're under the display. They're not as reliable, as having a physical one. But I miss the fingerprint sensor, and I hope Apple revives Touch ID. So
yes, I hope
it's pretty much the same. So, but yeah. So she says she's not. She says she doesn't buy it. She's team iPhone.
I mean,
but you want that flip phone. You wanted the Z Flip.
I did because I'm a selfies girl. I'm like, let me take this selfie. I like the pictures, but I mean, as far as like,
but Miss Aries, is it Samsung or didn't they have a flip phone or something? Didn't it come out?
Yeah, we were talking about that. They actually did revive the Razr. I wouldn't buy it. It's a piece of trash. But Samsung, they have the flip and the fold. I'm not sure which one she wanted, but she wanted one so she can slam it in my ear.
Right. But before we go any further, we've been on for an hour, so I want to transition into
right.
Into
what are your thoughts, George? Real quick, what do you think about it?
I'm interested in it, and I'm going to do something. I don't know if I should tell you off air or on air, but I think I'm going to do is, and I hope my wife is.
You have a surprise?
No, I hope my wife is not listening. I think I'm going to try what you said earlier about the TV, about renting it for one day, returning it.
Oh my God. Again, I'm not part of the shenanigans. I'm just a guest. I don't work here.
I think I want to try that for the phone. But anyways, people that are watching it now, like, what are you talking about? So
Okay,
Not,
yes. So you're gonna try it out. You're just gonna try it
you know
out.
what? Because it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt to try it because if it's more customizable, which iPhone is not. Once you had that, folks, you miss it because you're like, oh crap, you got to do this and that and this and that. And with the iPhone, is very restrictive. The ecosystem is like you were saying, Miss Aries says, you can't do it. Nope. Sorry, this is how the way it works. And the thing is, I think that's why a lot of businesses have iOS as their main phone because it's sturdy. You can't change it around, but whatnot. But I think I'm gonna try it just to see.
Get a
I'm real
Pixel
curious
6.
how fast.
A Pixel 6 starts at $599, and you get all flagship. It's the same specs as pretty much the S22. So I have a Pixel 6. It starts at $599, and it's a terrific phone. I love it.
And then people say, why so much for a phone? Come on, think about it. You could on your phone, you email, you could call, you could search social media. You could, like you're saying, Miss Ari, podcast. You could do all the stuff.
Your phone is your computer.
Yes. Yes. I mean, remember back in the day.
Your mini office, I like to say, your little office that you can take with you everywhere. So if you have a cheap phone, you're going to be one of those people on the street saying, can you hear me? What about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You're
like remember Verizon?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? Is it frustrating? Like, can you hear me? Like, hold on, go to the next room. Can you hear me?
Oh no,
can you hear me? Like,
has Verizon. We don't have those issues. Well, T-Mobile has been slipping a little bit lately. I ain't gonna hold you, but yeah, with Verizon, the calls don't drop like that. It's quality, and that's why people like Verizon is so much money for their phones and for their services. But I don't have drop calls, and my service is always excellent. Like I said, I want the creme de la creme. I want the best of the best.
Verizon?
Yeah, you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You pay what you. Okay, I might get some hate mail here, but you pay what you get. Because like here where I live, I'm not sure if it's still around anymore. But there's Cricket, there's Metro, there's more from AT&T. I think it's Cricket. Well, anyways,
Cricket is owned by AT&T. Metro is owned by T-Mobile.
T-Mobile, yeah.
And but basically they're not bottom of the barrel, but they're second stream tower priority.
Yes.
So the people who have to pay, people like us, we get the priority, but the people, when you go buy those free phones, I mean, like you said, it's what you get, what you pay for. You're going to get drop calls. You're going to get slow data speeds. And that's why
or the screen freezes. They're like, what the heck is that? Is that doing what I'm supposed to?
I actually had a cheap iPhone before. Like before I actually started adulting. Like I had a Metro iPhone because theirs is like the knockoff, and it used to freeze, and I was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. I'm like, let me get a real iPhone and stop playing, and I completely saw the difference. I was like, okay.
And that's the thing that that's what people were. You need to realize that. Oh, I've got an iPhone. What kind of phone? iPhone 6 Plus. Seriously?
Yeah.
I have an iPhone, whatever, and so it depends on what you're gonna get. So don't.
Nobody uses the 6 Plus anymore. Matter of fact, I don't even think
they give those out on the ice cream truck.
Well, supposedly, I don't know if you heard this, and I could be mistaken, but supposedly T-Mobile as of March or next month, iPhone 7 and up. They're not going to be able to use it on their network. So,
well, the iPhone 7 and up will be, but anything below the iPhone 7.
You shouldn't have one below the 7
because they don't support. They support voice over LTE, but actually, I'm looking it up here because I don't want to give false information. Okay, it's the iPhone 5 through the iPhone 6 Plus.
Okay.
Because they don't support the latest version of voice over LTE. The matter of fact, the iPhone 5 and the 5S, they don't even support voice over LTE, which is basically calls over the stronger network for anybody that's not technical. And HD voice is terrific. HD voice, when you're on phone calls, the clarity is it's like the person's in the room. It's definitely wonderful. But as she stated before, you shouldn't even have an iPhone 5S. If you have an iPhone 5S, go slap yourself. But,
I didn't say that either. But
they're going to give you free phones. So
everything ain't free ain't the best thing for you.
No. They're giving so AT&T is giving you a free. T-Mobile's giving you a free iPhone 11. which is not bad. AT&T is giving you an iPhone SE 2020 edition or an iPhone 11, and and Verizon, they're giving you a free iPhone SE 2020. So pretty good upgrades. I mean, like I said, you shouldn't be having an iPhone 5S at this point.
You shouldn't. You
You really should. I mean,
turn that in for scrap metal. We do
Yes, and
not
that's-
want to see you with an iPhone 5.
that's how much it's
Because
worth,
if I
too.
see you, I'm going to laugh at you. You need
Yes.
to go ahead and upgrade. Like, no, we don't want to see you with the 5s and the 6s. I don't even want to see you with the 7s. The 8 is acceptable, but
The 7s are support.
Hold on. Let me show you something.
it's gonna be real awkward if you.
The iPhone 7. That's my secondary phone.
I mean, well, it's your secondary phone. Some people
Yeah.
can't say that, and then you're gonna have people that are gonna troll you and say, "Well, I can't afford to have 2 phones, or I can't." Well, then yeah, to each his own.
Yeah. But like you said, the thing is that the reason I have 2 phones is because I'm
You ain't gotta
into social
explain.
media, want to do content and whatnot. But
Yeah.
anyways, talking about iOS, they have a latest update this week, the 15.3.1, and that was to help major default in accessibility where the Braille display wasn't coming up. But I'm gonna go ahead and play that real quick, okay?
All right.
Hey guys, so Apple continues on a roll today, releasing yet another software update, yet a very important one as well. This one contains important security fixes and also some accessibility fixes as well. But as always, if you would like to stay up to date with the latest iOS news and Apple software updates, don't forget to subscribe and make sure you turn on those notifications so that you don't miss another episode. Now, the first thing to note here is that iOS 15.3.1 was released today alongside iPadOS 15.3.1, watchOS 8.4.2, and macOS 12.2.1 as well. Now, the security update is across the board, and for iOS devices, there's also an issue that's been addressed here for accessibility users. Now, before we get to some of the details here, this software can be installed on your iPhone or iPad right now. There was no beta testing. You can go to General, Software Updates, and iOS 15.3.1 should populate for your device. Now, right here it is, the latest build number for iOS 15.3.1, 19D52. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is right here, the issue that could cause some Braille displays to stop working. Again, this is an accessibility feature, something that Apple wanted to push out quickly to fix this particular problem with Braille displays. I'll link information in the description down below in case you're interested in learning a little more about that. But the other thing that Apple is addressing here across the board with macOS, iPadOS, iOS is a security issue, as you can see right here. If we head on over to Apple's website and the security contents within iOS 15.3.1, here it is. There is an issue right here with the security of your iPhone, and you should definitely consider updating. All these updates are, of course, recommended for all users. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the impacts here. Now, the security impact is processing malicious crafted web content may lead to arbitrary code execution. Now, in plain English, what this means is if you visit a website that's trying to gain access to your device, they could if they know what they're doing. So what you want to do is, of course, is update your iPhone. That is to take away with iOS 15.3.1. So we have security update and, of course, the Braille display updates as well for accessibility owners. Now, there's also something that Apple did announce today that has nothing to do with iOS 15.3.1, but it did catch my attention and I wanted to share the details with you guys. Apple, on their newsroom today, announced big updates coming to AirTags with a next update for AirTags and iOS. Well, you'll get a prompt for your AirTags and showing you what AirTags do, what AirTags are meant to do, and alerting criminals that attempt to track people using AirTags. Now, I'm sure you've probably heard the headlines, many criminals tracking people with AirTags. This is what the new setup screen will look like. It will have your Apple ID. It gives information on how AirTags are meant to be used. Your Apple ID is associated to your AirTags. How Apple can provide law enforcement with your information if you use AirTags to track a person. Now, I think this is a great update across the board. Apple takes privacy very serious, and it looks like AirTags will be getting an update for those that intend to use AirTag in a negative way.
So I thought I played it to the end because the AirTag thing I did not know. And that's kind of scary.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was actually a story It happened probably about a month ago. This lady started getting all types of phone calls, and her security cameras started to get triggered, and come to find out that somebody had actually placed an AirTag uh, in her car, and it was actually tracking her every move. So that's actually kind of scary. But there was also a good one where this lady, she moved across the country, and her son's toys were not delivered, and she kept calling the movers, and he was like, "Oh, I'll be there soon, da 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 da," and she was able to see he was a couple miles up the road, um, basically from her house, and he was there for a while, and "Oh, I had a family emergency or whatever that, and I'm in this location," and she finally said, "Look, I know where you at," and he actually tried to escape with the child's toys. So,
Wow.
so they were able to track him down. So there's good and bad. So online dating, if you're you meet somebody, or if you got a crazy neighbor, like I said, that's a story for another time. But yeah, those air tags can be dangerous, but they also are good. Maybe if your parents or you have children, you want to track them. So
Let me tell you
please
this.
be careful.
Yes, let me tell you this, folks. And I want to tell you this is way back in the day. Talk about online dating and whatnot, folks. I don't think I ever told my wife this. But yeah, wait, let me tell you. So I live in apartments, and back in the day when people had house phones, you could actually look them up in the phone book or call the operator, and they'll give you the address.
My
Check it
job
out.
at my job, because for those that don't know, I sell business phone systems and IT solutions, but we actually still print the white pages.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
we
Okay.
still
Well,
print the
I
white
met
page.
I met this girl. She's kind of weird, and I'm kind of like, well, yeah. No. So I told her, you know what, whatever. I kind of ignored her. I'm at line focus one day at about 8 o'clock, and I hear on my door, and I'm like, what the hell? And then my phone rings, and I'm like, hello? She's like, I'm outside your door. I'm like, holy snikey! Imagine with the AirTag. That is some, folks. Seriously, there's some weird people out there that you don't want to be followed, especially And not only that, if you really think about this, Miss Aries and Quentin, those who are visually impaired. Because if you want to, let's say someone's out there to do malicious stuff, and I've heard of two people, they actually follow them home, beat them up, and take their stuff because they're visually impaired. So, that's another subject for another day. But the point is that, technology, like we said in the beginning, can be used for good stuff, and it can be used for bad stuff, right? So, we're going to bring the show to an end there, Mr. Quentin and Miss Quinn Aries. So,
we've been on here for a while, but that bug, they talked about the braille displays, but also there was a bug. I've installed the update for iOS 13. What is it?
13.1.
13.3.1. It also that Safari. For some reason, there was a error, and it was actually leaking your personal information in your browsing history. So they did fix that bug.
Oh, Eric, Quentin, you were telling me earlier, what is the difference between 15.3.1 and 15.4 or 15.5?
So, okay, yeah. So 13, so when there's a 0.1 or 0.01 or something like that, like point whatever. So when it's 0.1 or 0.2, 0.3, that's it. Then those are not major updates, but those add new features. But when it's like 13.1, 0.3, those are like mainly security updates. So iOS 13.4, 13.3, it introduced a feature to where you can listen to music on FaceTime or watch videos and stuff, like new features like that. And actually in 13.4, since we live in a mask world now, COVID and everything, you can actually unlock your phone with the mask on with Face ID. There'll be an option in Face ID that says use Face ID with mask, and you would actually just put the mask on and it will scan your face. So
okay. You know what? People, when I wear my mask,
hopefully be out by March.
When I wear my mask, and people say, "Hey, what's your name?" I say, "My name is Batman." Anyways, this guy's crazy too. By the way, folks, just before I end, I was telling Miss Aries and Mr. Quentin that unfortunately I was diagnosed with TCS, and just wanted to let everybody know that I'm okay. I'm alright.
Oh wow! Not again.
And as a matter of fact, Miss Aries was telling me that Quentin has symptoms of this too.
I never said that.
But TCS, folks, is terminal case of the stupids. But anyway.
Wow.
Anyways, we're good, right, Quinn? Yeah, we're good.
She's trying. He's trying to ruin our relationship.
I know.
I mean, it's the shenanigans for me.
So there was, like I said, time went fast. We're having great fun. So to end up the show there, Mr. Quinton and Miss Quinn Aries, what do you want to get people to take away from the show?
Be careful. Get rid of your iPhone 5S.
Throw it away.
Sell it. Matter of fact, it's a collector's item. Somebody's bound to pay big
Throw it
money.
away. No, it's not. Throw it away.
Don't listen to her.
Throw it away.
No, listen to her. Yeah, throw it away. And please be safe. Air tags. Please use them for the right reasons. I mean, hey, be open-minded. Try different things. See what your options are, and definitely, go Bengals. And as always, in parting, it's COVID. You know the rules. Please be safe. Please be blessed. And
yep, amen to that.
Stuff and take care.
Yeah, Miss Aries.
Well, I want to say thank you for having me on your show. This was fun. Team iPhone all day. I'm sorry, Galaxy. Team iPhone all day. And yeah, like everything that Quentin said. And when you get a chance, look me up on Spotify.
Yes, please check out
your podcast. Say it one more time, your podcast.
Glad to keep from crying. It's Kitchen Table Talk. I'm there with the shenanigans every Friday at 6 o'clock. That's Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I mean, we're just here. Like, live lives, wear your mask when you're out there at this whack Super Bowl, because know.
Right.
Lions ain't there.
I might be there. I might be on the podcast. I don't know. She might like me. I don't know.
He's banned from my show because it was hard for me not to cuss this time. But like I said, it's Kitchen Table Talk with a drink or two and some snacks. Come see me every Friday. We'll talk about it. And yeah.
Yes, her link will be in the show notes as well. I'll get that over to George. Her link will be in the show notes.
Yes. And then talking about being kicked off, there's the show, Quentin. It's funny when you talk about that. Me and my wife were talking. My wife, I don't know how, she's been kicked off 3 Facebook pages. Not because of bad words or whatever. She's been kicked off the Days of Our Lives Facebook page, folks. I don't know what, I'm like, what the heck? You would think I would because I'm more rebellious. But I'm like, we're laughing about that anyway. But anyway, like how Miss Aries and Quentin were saying, keep your minds open, folks. We're going to be talking about different stuff, apps, the access to apps, websites, JAWS. My friend just got hit Oracam this past week, I think, which is really cool. So all this stuff, keep your minds open to different stuff we talk about. You want to chime in, be interactive. You actually saw right now with Miss Kiss AM or Kiss 87. I appreciate the man for their comments. So we want to be engaging, folks. You. Yes, and like I said, Quentin's information is on the website, which is novisioninternetradio.com, regarding his email and donations. Now, donations, folks, is to help give more content to the show. In other words, what that is you got to put money in to get money in. Oh, how's that saying go?
Yes, you do.
You put money in to get money out.
Yeah, but we're not trying to get money out, but we're trying to give information out.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, you got to put money in to get the content and the quality. Exactly. We're all about quality over here, so stay tuned for the S22 unboxing in green. Why did I pick that color? I don't know. I wanted something different, so stay tuned for that.
You know why you got green? I know why you got green. For a good team like Seahawks, like my team. Wait, anyway.
They're not in the Super Bowl.
No, that's true. But they at least that's the Cowboy fans. Oh Lord, I know I want to shut things up here. People are Cowboys. Well, at least the Seahawks won a Super Bowl in the past 20 years.
Wow.
But anyways,
I know nothing about football.
Yeah, but I think a Cowboys fan that.
Cowboys fans is big here in Texas. Well, everyone. So, Quintus, how are we going to do this format? I forgot to talk about that in the beginning of the show. In other words, is it every 2 weeks, every month, every whatever?
So more than likely, probably be every 2 weeks. So when we get together next week will be like stupid stuff that's happened during the week. It'll be more laid back. I might be a little bit more explicit. So, which,
Oh, wow.
but when I say explicit, I mean, I'm probably going to cuss a little more because certain
Oh,
stuff is just
wow.
stupid. We have some stuff already to talk about sort of next week. And I might see some more dumb stuff. So, and also, to keep that interaction going, when we do the podcast to where we talk about stupid stuff that happened during the week, if you find something that you find stupid or funny or whatever, and you want us to talk about it, just send us a link, with the article or video, and we'll look into it and we'll talk about it.
That what Mr. Chris is talking about, that one, that series, I guess you want to call it, is called Let's Talk Stuff, and that's just talking about stuff, like just crazy stuff. Matter of fact, real quick, I don't know if you saw the story, Quentin and Miss Aries, a 70-year-old woman, Italian woman, was found in her home, mummified 2 years after she died. They found her in her home. She was mummified in her kitchen table.
Wow.
Imagine that. 2 years, folks. Wow. Talking about. Well, anyways. Well, Quentin, Miss Quinn Aries, you're more welcome to stay. If we have to replace Quentin, I got no problem with that. Not really.
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna
yeah.
get replaced. So
No,
thank you for all the
no.
comments, all the support. Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
not a techie. You guys will be bored. I'm a comedian. I'm not a techie. But again, I had fun.
I'm a comedian too. Let me
Oh.
tell you real fast. Here in El Paso, the culture and all that. We have gangs and look, everybody, right? But here we have a gang called the Fatherless. Straight out, what we call cholos, And when I was younger, I tell people I used to belong to a gang. Really? You? Yes. Instead of the Fatherless, we call the Sightless. Instead of drive-by, we do walk-bys. Well, anyways, I'll be here next week.
Wow.
Be safe. Be blessed.
Be
Thank you
safe,
so much.
guys.
We have been
Happy
demonetized.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And
yes.
go Bengals, guys. I want Bengals to win. Come on, guys. You
Yes,
can do it.
go Bengals. Thank you.
Amen to that. All right. See everyone see you next week for the Let's Talk stuff, and 2 weeks for this show. And thank you, folks. Like Mr. Quentin was saying, thank you for your support. The last show we did, Let's Talk stuff, got 300 hits, folks. That's a lot. That really is. I do appreciate your support. We do support that because this takes a lot of work, folks, and time. Hey, we've been on this thing for an hour and a half, Quentin. Miss Aries, that's not bad, huh?
We had fun.
Well-
I appreciate the engagement in the comments from everybody. So thank you to Kiss87. Most definitely, much love. And everybody else that joined in. If you fell asleep, hey, thank you. If you stayed awake,
Right.
we thank you. So everybody, thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.